What's up, guys? I just wanted to share this cool hot rod magazine that my dad scored from April of 1967 with an article on how to convert your 55 Chevy to a straight axle tubular front end, as well as another article on this 55 you see on the cover called Tabasco. I've taken pictures of the other articles so you can pause the video and read them and look at them for as long as you like. I really hope you enjoy this, so let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, what's up, guys? Back in the garage on the 55, and as you saw in the last video, we got this thing all complete and got the welder out. So I think at the end of the last video, if you watched it, if you didn't, go back and check it out. Got a couple holes up in here, as you can see that slit right there. I'm gonna go through, patch that in, and then on this other side, on the inner wheel well, this one's in pretty good shape. I know some of it's been replaced, but that rust hole right up there and that little guy behind it, I'm gonna go through and section in a area up there. And then all these seams, we'll go through and get seam sealer and go through and patch all those in. So I think we're gonna get started here on this side, because I think this one might be the most annoying just because it's like long and skinny. So I'm gonna figure out if I'm gonna cut beyond it, just make a nice even rectangle, but not really too sure yet. So we'll take you along and I'll show you how I'm doing it. And then hopefully we can get some seam sealer and finish it up here after I get this stuff welded in. Okay, don't mind the one with the X's through it, that was wrong. But the one that doesn't have the X's through it, which is this guy there, is what I'll be using to put that in place. So always make sure to cut on the inside of your lines. That way you'd rather it be a little small and have to, you know, go out a little bit more than cut it too big. So we'll go ahead and get this thing cut out and replace it. All right, so I'm picking up where I left off in the last clip you just saw, which is a while back. I ended up doing the other video you saw in between these, took a little break on this. But anyway, got my piece setting up in there. I just got it resting. As you can see, it's not over where it needs to be. Got it resting in place so it'll stay. Got my little magnets. So we're gonna get those up in there to hold it right where I want it and break the welder out and get this thing tacked in place. And then up here on the top side, I got some spot welds. I'm gonna have to crawl up in there and get, which isn't too big of a deal, but put a light in there and get it set down and it'll be good to go. So go ahead and set you up on a time lapse and get this thing welded up. All right, guys, got it tacked in. And then right here, you can see a little overlap. I'll go through and push that up from this side here and tack it as I go. And then we'll go through and finish weld that out. Show you guys, got that seam welded up under here, so we're good there. I probably won't clean the welds up, just for the mere fact we'll be undercoating under there, as well as running some seam sealer along that entire seam. That way it keeps anything else from getting in the engine bay, especially burnout smoke. And then Dad is up here underneath the front of the frame. Right here on the cross member on the bottom side, there's just a little spot that was kind of rusted out. So he's getting that all prepped and ready and getting a template made so I can go under there and weld that in. Would have some more welding progress for you guys, but I just ran out of gas. So got to get some, whenever some more gas comes in, we'll get some back in that thing, finish out the other side and the front of this chassis. But as for now, taking off these cowl caps so we can clean down in there. And I'm surprised this screw is just coming loose like this, which is very surprising. So let's see what we got. Yeah, it looks pretty clean down in there. Let's go check out the other side. Yeah, it looks pretty clean in there. Not sure about the very, very bottom, but overall pretty clean. So I think what I'll do real quick is shine a light down in there, see if I can see anything at the very bottom. And if there is, we'll try to get it cleaned out. But overall, that looks pretty good. Normally those things are just filled full of dirt and leaves and crap. So that's pretty good. So we'll see if we have to clean this out. Okay, I know I just left off showing you that little spot in the, or actually I don't even think I showed you the spot on the frame. I showed what Dad was doing underneath there. So let me throw a battery in this thing and we'll show you what I'm talking about. So there was just kind of a soft spot under here. So we went ahead and got that shaped out, cut out. And I'll get a piece made out of the template we made off that and clean it all up under there and weld it in and then smooth the welds out. And hopefully you'll hardly ever be able to tell it's even there. But anyway, we got that inner fender patch done on this side. And then we got the one left on the driver's side over here. I ran out of welding gas, so I'm not able to do the front there or the rear. And that kind of sucks. So hopefully I'm going to call tomorrow, see if they got any, because that would allow me to be able to get those knocked out. Because as you can see here, got some parts. The wife's Jeep, we've been putting stuff off and all 4 struts are blown out. Front brakes are bad. So I got to do all those amongst other things, as well as the pure stock drags that are coming up, which I know if you watched the last video on Dad's Firebird, you'd know that. And that's kind of like top priority for now. And we still have to, he's finishing the wiring for the AEM wideband. And then that car is finished up and we're ready to take it out and do some test hits. So I will probably do a video on the Firebird, going out and doing some test hits. And then the next one you'll see after that, I'll probably film some stuff on the 55, but it won't be enough for a whole video, as well as even this one's hardly enough for a whole video, but I can kind of justify it just so we can go over some updates to fill you guys in and let you know why this thing's taken so dang long to get the fab stuff squared away. But really the next 2 videos are going to be Firebird oriented, because it'll be the test video, and then I'll film the first day up at the drags on test and tune to see what we're doing, and then I'll actually film the competition day as well. So you can look forward to probably 3 videos. Those will be really cool videos in my opinion. But anyway, that's why I wanted to go over why I'm not messing with this thing for the next, couple weeks. But basically where we're at on the engine, got it bagged up and covered up over here. So the heads are just about done. Dad's just got to order the intake valves, and those will be ready to toss in. I think those might even be on their way. So this engine will almost be ready to throw together as well. So you can expect a whole video on getting this engine thrown together, getting stuff taped off so we can prime it and paint it, which will be pretty awesome. And then I'll go over the intake and carb setup we have for this thing. So those are going to be some upcoming videos on the 55. So you can look forward to that. Ought to be pretty good, and ought to be able to make some pretty steady progress after that, because everything we're needing is going to be coming in, and this is kind of just a busy time with finishing stuff up I got to at home, as well as going to the drags. And then once that engine's primed, or I may even do it before we prime it, but we'll be ready to mock everything back up and get that trans mount and some engine mounts made. And then that's pretty much gonna square away the main fabrication stuff on the car, where we can get the tilt front end back down, get those pieces patched in on the front, and rig up and fiberglass in a mount tilt system for it, which will be pretty cool. So a lot of good stuff coming in the near future. I just gotta get through these next couple busy weeks, and then after the weekend of September 16th, it ought to be pretty steady moving on this thing. And that should be about it. We can really start making some good headway on this thing. And also, we are going to be wiring this thing up at the shop. It's something I was going to take care of, but it's so time consuming and it's not really my forte. So Jason's going to wire this thing up, since it's going to be pretty basic, literally brake lights, tail lights, turn signals, headlights, and maybe a couple little added on things. And that'll be about it. But a little update on this. Hopefully start ordering some parts for it. If you haven't been around, you can go back and watch the one previous video I have on this, going over some of the sheet metal repair I fixed up front here. As you can tell, it's got a whole new floor. And everything are just kind of expensive for these things, so I've just been holding off, and I'm about ready to start ordering little things at a time so I can start kind of working my way back, because that's about as far as I've made it there is the front floor. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Sorry it wasn't as interesting, and it's kind of a talking video going over what the heck's going on and why I haven't been doing as much. So hopefully, like I said, after the second weekend in September, or whatever that is, September 16th, we'll start seeing a lot more progress on this thing, because we're also about ready to get that rear end up under it as well. So look forward to all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and just bear with me on it. And the future stuff ought to be pretty good. So anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next video. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you then.